We are going to look at the second account of creation in Genesis 2 and the loss of innocence of Adam and Eve. Genesis 2:4 through 24 is a second creation account, and it has a few differences from the first. There's no vegetation yet when Adam is created. Humans are created first, then the animals. And it looks like the male is created, at least initially, alone. Now the question is asked, why a second account? And it's possible that chapter 2 gives details of creation of humans first mentioned in Genesis 1. In other words, 1 serves as an overall summary of all of creation. Chapter 2 focuses in on the humans. It has also been suggested that it comes from a different source. For example, Genesis 1, when it refers to God, uses the word Elohim. Genesis 2 uses Yahweh Elohim. It has also been suggested that Genesis 1 sets the larger stage in which one couple out of all of humanity is selected for a special task. And the focus is less on material origins than on human vocation in the presence of God. There are some important word pairs or word plays in the story that you kind of miss out on if you don't read it in Hebrew. So when you see the word man or human, think Adam. When you see the word ground, like Adam being formed out of the ground, it is Adamah, and the two words are actually related etymologically. Notice that the word for man, when it's not Adam, but just strictly speaking a male person, because Adam can also refer to just human in general, is Ish and Isha for woman. The ending is a feminine ending. Although strictly speaking, the words are not derived from the same place, the text is playing with them as if they were. The word for Eve, Chava, she is named because she's the mother of life, Chai. And again, there's word plays being brought out here. So, as we suggested, Adam being formed from the dust of the ground is less about material origins and more about mortality. Those of us who celebrate Ash Wednesday, that is the theme of Ash Wednesday, is our mortality, going back to the dust of the earth. And note that in Edom, Adam can eat of the tree of life. So it is possible that he's not naturally immortal, but is sustained in Eden by the tree of life. And Adam is put in a garden to serve and to keep. This can refer to agricultural tasks, but serve is also the word used for priestly service in the temple. And a number of texts and traditions see Eden as a kind of temple, a sacred space, with Adam as a priest king helped by the woman Eve, God's representatives to the whole earth. And their vocation is shown by their naming the animals, by their having dominion. Again, not predation or exploitation, but wise ordering. God's presence is also in the garden as in the cosmos in Genesis 1, and both are places of rest. And note that Adam is brought to Eden to rest. Let's look at specific language that is used in the creation of humans, because I think there's some interesting things going on. I can't quite put my finger on them, but they are perhaps more to be felt than thought about. We have in Genesis 1:27, so God created Adam in his image. In the image of God he created him. It's a singular preposition. But then male and female he created them. So Adam is singular and plural. In Genesis 5:1b through 2, on the day God created Adam, he made them in the likeness of God. Notice that difference from 1:27. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them, and he called their name Adam on the day he created them. So there's this interesting oneness and two-ness, singular and plural, of the word Adam and the various prepositions that are used. Okay, so Adam is singular. Adam is both man and woman. It's just interesting to speculate on. But while this is pretty straightforward, I'm going to add my own speculation about chapter 2. And that chapter 2 also follows this pattern. So you have Adam being formed of the dust of the earth, but then you have Adam being put to sleep and the woman being taken out of Adam. So one becomes two. And it could be that chapter 2 is sort of enacting the general statements in Genesis 1 and 5. I don't know. It's just a speculation. So what about the rib? A lot of translations use this as the translation for the part of Adam that is removed to make the woman. It is also possible that the word means side or blanket. That's what it means in other contexts. And it's possible that the woman is one side of Adam, marriage being then a restoration of an original state of unity. This Edenic life does not last. This sense of rest does not last. Because Adam and Eve are tempted, and they give in, and the world is changed. So what is the nature of the temptation? In some interpretations, the prohibition against eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil is seen as an arbitrary command, and Adam and Eve's sin one of simple disobedience. While disobedience may be part of what's going on, if we look closer, the sin of Adam and Eve was to set themselves as rivals to God. They desired to be like God, and they turned away from God as the source of their knowledge. They tried to get it on their own. The tree of the good and bad knowledge is self-awareness to make ethical decisions, intelligence, and wisdom, not something that the humans intrinsically had. By eating of the tree, Adam and Eve turn away from God and make themselves the center and source of wisdom, and therefore admitting disorder into the cosmos. Augustine and Luther speak of the essence of sin as being curved in upon oneself. So what gets to Eve and then to Adam is this sense of looking at who am I going to be? and a sense of ambition entering in. I want to be more than I am now. Some notes about the tempter. In the actual text, the tempter is referred to as a serpent, a creature, and is called crafty. Later tradition connects the serpent with Satan. Much modern scholarship wants to see the serpent as simply an animal. Now, it is true that the text does not call the serpent Satan, but on the other hand, it is perhaps reducing the creature too much to just see it as an animal the way we normally see animals. First of all, it's an animal that talks. But also, in many ancient Near Eastern texts, snakes or serpents represent the force of non-order or chaos. And it's possible that the serpent in Genesis represents a disruptive chaos creature, Leviathan, the Tannin, or sometimes that's translated dragons. Note that the serpent is already in rebellion against God, wishing to disrupt the lives of the humans and put enmity between them and God. So there's something deeper going on here. There is something that has already entered in as a disruptive force. Once that fruit is eaten, there is alienation within community. Adam and Eve hide from God. They are no longer in God's presence. Remember this theme of presence. It's going to be important. Adam tries to shift the blame. He blames Eve, and so you have alienation between he and Eve. Eve blames the serpent, alienation again. And finally, they are expelled from the garden. They are sort of cast out from the community. And the community they are cast out of contains the tree of life. There is disobedience here, but note also that Adam and Eve were given a vocation, but they turn aside to listen to the voice of the serpent. They forget their vocation. It could also be that eating of the fruit itself made innocence impossible. There would always be an awareness of alternatives, the possibility of evil, and so the rest of the temple of Eden would be destroyed. And with the knowledge of good and evil, immortality is far too dangerous, hence the distancing of Adam and Eve from the tree of life. The curses that are given to the serpent, to Eve, and to Adam have to do with enmity, have to do with toil and drudgery, a distancing of relationship. And so specifically, there will be enmity between the serpent and the woman, and between their offspring. For the woman, her toil is in the form of difficulty in childbearing. It is interesting to note that while translations generally use different words for what is going on for Eve and then Adam, it is actually the same word. So whereas many translations have, I will greatly increase your pangs or pains, the word is translated toil in the context of Adam. With Adam, it is enmity between the ground and Adam. There's toil. It's the same word as applies to Eve. Thorns and thistles, difficulty. Sweat of your face. Okay, so there's this sense of difficulty and enmity in all of these curses. Throughout the rest of the Bible, we will see the various ways in which God seeks to remedy the curses and undo the disorder and alienation.